dang, have you guys saw that slow token? It has gotten a lot of hype, and I mean, granted, the hype is well founded because it's the dang turtle of Yonatan. So yeah, but the thing is, look at the mint. It had a basically 21,000 mint, meaning that 21,000 Kaspa was used to create it. So you already know the distribution just wasn't really there. It looks like one of the big whales, someone was holding 10%. There was two wallets holding 10% supply. They could be shifting money around, shifting tokens around to appear decentralized, to appear like it's distributed, or they might be selling. But just look at this type of thing. It's like a lot of money is held in the top wallets. So it's, at the end of the day, it's a great little meme. It's fun and all, but at the end of the day, it's a degen token. So it's gonna pump, it's gonna dump, and it's gonna be extremely volatile because it's a super micro cap with very top heavy wallets. So it's something like you really want to be careful with, especially at this stage where it's literally, it rose up to 600 times the initial mint price, maybe even a little more than that, like a little more than 600 times, something like that. So you want to be extremely careful if you're trying to invest in this right now. Expect some heavy pumps, heavy dumps. Who literally knows? Especially when you compare it to existing tokens out there, it's like it's hard. Where do you think it could be valued? Like, I mean, in all honesty, something like this, I think it's fairly valued around the 1 million mark. Maybe it's gonna hit up to 2 million. Maybe it wants to compete with these. I don't see it being able to compete nearly with like these top tokens because it just doesn't have that token distribution that you would need, because there's just a lot of whales in here that are going to have a lot of percentage supply. They're going to be slowly selling. If they don't want to sell and they want to be hodlers and all that, that's great. That's great. So we'll see. Who knows how it can work. But at the end of the day, it's just another meme coin, and nothing changes the narrative for Nacho being the first, being the largest, being the one with actual large infrastructure, providing value back into the Kaspa ecosystem. Nothing changes the narrative for Nacho. But it has its own little narrative. It's a different narrative, different meme coin. If it's fun, it's something different. So that's cool, and I appreciate that. And so people saying this fair launch, like, you just have to be honest with yourself that yeah, it was fair launch, but at a market cap of 1,800, like someone could have easily just put in even like $100 would literally, or like $150 would literally be 10% of the supply. Like, imagine someone do that between various wallets, and then they can easily have like a huge majority. So just keep that in mind, that when something's super microcap, like the distribution is just not going to be there, especially at the start. So expect a lot of volatility, expect some hindrance of its price as it rises in value, as people sell, because they're up 2,000%, or they're up like 1,000 times the initial mint price. What are they going to do? I mean, it's just how it works with meme coins. But don't be worried if you're holding any of like, the leaders, because it's not really comparable to the ones that have been leading the ecosystem and that are building. But it's very it's like it's a new hot shot out there, especially as the founder's pet. So the founder's pet is always a hot narrative in across a lot of meme coins on across blockchains. So definitely one to keep an eye out for, but I really do insist you to be careful not to just go straight YOLO. That's just my advice, especially with the recent gains. So that's my thing. So that's why I'm still, fully endorsing, fully supportive of Nacho and what they're building, what they have, and other leaders out there. Not so much PPCAS, I'm sorry. The Zeal at the current market cap, current price, I'm also not a fan of, because you already know, like, this is just not circulating supply. So once it becomes circulating, once a lot of the supply enters the market, it's going to introduce tokens that people can have the ability to sell. So I think it's a very good long-term investment, but I think Nacho, for example, is a much better, especially at a lower market cap. You already know Nacho doing superb as well. Like, this is the leading meme coin on Kaspa, the first fair launch to meme coin on Kaspa, building actual infrastructure, revenue streams. On that note, I'm going to end it there. Peace out.